ESPN, promise, positive vibes.
Well, you know it's a big game when Priscilla Presley is in the house here in Memphis tonight. Peyton Manning somehow got a ticket and was brave enough to wear orange. And former Memphis State star Penny Hardaway is here in the building as well. They are all here to see number 1 against number 2 from the FedEx Forum here in Memphis. Welcome to ESPN Saturday Night Primetime, presented by DirecTV. And how much fun is this going to be? This doesn't happen all that often, especially with two teams right in the same state. You looking forward to this one?
I'll tell you, it should be really exciting. You got both clubs that transition basketball up and down the floor. Two coaches that got an unbelievable personality and lots of enthusiasm. Star players, Lofton, Douglas Roberts, undefeated, the only unblemished team in America, Memphis, and Tennessee, number 2, trying to be number 1 for the first time in the history of Tennessee men's basketball.
We are lucky we got these seats. Otherwise, we had no shot at getting into this building tonight. How about the Chevron Star Watch tonight?
Well, you know, you talk about Star Watch, you got to go with the 2. Chris, I tell you, Lofton certainly is going to have to be big here today, making threes. He's going to really have to be effective. On the other side, Chris Douglas Roberts has been on fire the last 3 games, 20.
Well, as if this place could get any noisier, as if there could be any more excitement here in the building. Time now for the Tigers starting lineup. They practically ripped the roof off here at the FedEx Forum. Now, how about the Tennessee Volunteers? Here's the starting lineup for them. This is a deep and talented bunch with 3 Smiths in the starting lineup. None of them are related. Ramar Jawan in the backcourt along with Chris Lofton, one of the great shooters in college basketball. Tyler Smith and Wayne Chisholm providing the size up front. A win tonight, and the Vols are the number 1 team in the nation. Evan Andrews tells us how they feel about that.
Well, Dan, first of all, if you don't think this game means a lot to both these teams, you are crazy. 2 incidents already. These 2 teams had to be separated when they were in the same area, in the hallway and when they came out on the court. And when you talk about big games, normally athletes don't want to talk about anything else except for the task at hand. But when I talk to Tennessee players and roommates, Jawan and Tyler Smith, they said for the past couple days they have been talking in their apartment about what could happen if they beat Tennessee. They said, why even lie about it? If we beat Memphis, we will be the number 1 team in the nation. They said it's something they have brought up all week. Coach Pearl even brought it up in his pregame discussion, Dan.
Well, they are fired up, the players, the fans, the guys sitting beside me getting ready to broadcast the game. 38th meeting all time between number 1 and number 2. A chance to win a national championship, but Aaron's report said it all. This game means a ton to these players and everybody who lives in this state.
Well, you know, it's about ego. It's about bragging rights. That's what's really at stake tonight. However, when you put it in perspective, I really believe next Tuesday night, my friend, is a bigger game for Tennessee at Vanderbilt. Why? Because they want to win the SEC championship outright. They haven't done it in 41 years. But it is special because Memphis wants to go unblemished. We've all talked about if they win this game, they will be 34-0 in my mind come tournament time. The first unbeaten team since '91 to enter the tournament since Jerry Tarkanian and UNLV.
We are underway here in Memphis. Deafening noise here at the FedEx Forum. And a quick foul is drawn as Tyler Smith drives to the basket. Here's Bruce Pearl, just his 3rd year as the head coach in Knoxville. And Dick, what an incredible job he has done. Not only the wins and losses, but rejuvenating the program, revitalizing the fan base there.
Well, he's really brought that personality, that spirit. He's also accepted the fact of the success of Pat Summitt. You know, Tennessee's had a lot of success in basketball with Pat Summitt. As you look at John Calipari and the
coaching the number 1 ranked team. Remember, he was UMass's coach back in the Marcus Camby era, and they had a long run as the number 1 team in the nation.
Well, he beat 3 number 1s while at Mass. He beat Arkansas number 1. He beat North Carolina, and he also beat Kentucky.
Not a lot of love lost between the 2 coaches. We'll touch on that later on. A block shot. Memphis had it, lost it. And the 3 goes down from the corner for Jawan Smith. And John Calipari's going to use a timeout 35 seconds into this game. I mean, those Memphis players, Dick, were in the huddle for about 3 seconds before John Calipari sent him back out on the floor.
1 out of 2 on the free throw line for Tennessee. Not a good free throw shooting team. The last 4 minutes of the game, that can become big because Memphis is the worst in Division I shooting free throws, 58% as a team.
Derrick Rose for 3, and Memphis is on the board.
That's big. If he starts making shots, I think one of the keys in the game, you must contain the penetration of Rose.
Both teams score better than 80 points per game. Both of them want to get up and down the floor. This could be a track meet here tonight.
Both like to pressure defensively as well. Strong defensive team when you look at Memphis. Very similar to what Jerry Tarkanian had in '91.
So many of these players know each other. So many of them were recruited by one school, not necessarily the other. Backdoor feed. 4 on the shot clock. Jawan Smith again.
Oh, the rated threes, baby, early in this game.
When we asked John Calipari this morning, what are you most worried about? He said Jawan Smith. You think maybe Lofton or the pressure. He talked about Jawan Smith's ability to make shots.
This man-to-man defense really looks almost like a zone.
Derrick Rose with the answer.
He's saying, hey, who said I can't shoot? He went 2 for 13 against UAB.
Lamar Smith with the handoff and the strong finish inside by Tyler Smith, the transfer out of Iowa.
You got so many good athletes on the floor, players that can go up and down the floor. They're sitting in that zone. They're going to make them try to beat him from the perimeter.
Antonio Anderson will bury a 3.
We talked about as one of my keys. I said Memphis had to make the 3 tonight because they're going to cut off the driving lane.
3 threes for the Tigers.
And they're answering that by making that perimeter shot. And that is not a strong suit of Memphis.
Here's Lofton, number 5, better than 400 made threes in his career. 5th all-time in NCAA Division I history.
He's probably going to finish number 2 to J.J. Redick.
Yep. Chisholm looking for help. The shot clock into single digits again.
See, Chisholm can bring the big guy away from the basket. He can shoot the 3.
Lamar Smith with the penetration and the teardrop, and the Vols take the lead again.
You know, Lamar Smith played on an AAU team in Detroit with Chris Douglas Roberts. We are family. Name of the team was Family. Not just.
This has 3 senior guards who get regular minutes. Dozier. In and out, a rebound, Dorsey. He's a huge factor.
Well, that's what he does really well. His strength is rebounding, keeping the ball alive on the glass.
Here's their leading scorer, Chris Douglas Roberts, off to Rose, who has the hot hand early. Rebound off the miss by Tyler Smith. What an all-round talent he is, but he turns it over in transition.
Out of control. Got to go to the middle with it right now.
Rose to Dozier, who is fouled. For Memphis, unbeaten on the year. 45 in a row in the regular season to 47 wins in a row here at home. This is a program that has advanced to the Elite 8 each of the last 2 years. Tennessee got as far as the Sweet 16 a year ago. Both of these teams lost to the eventual national runner-up, Ohio State.
Yeah, Thad Bonner knows a little bit about both clubs, and they had tough fight by that.
A turnover. Anderson for 3.
Got to get a better shot. 3-on-1. You got to get a better shot than that.
Dorsey gets back his miss and is fouled before the shot. Man, you got to want the basketball here tonight, or somebody's going to rip it right from you.
There is so much ego on the floor, so much pride at stake. They're playing not for being number 1 only in the United States of America. They want to be number 1 in Tennessee.
Yep.
And as I told the guys earlier tonight, I said, Obama and Clinton, forget about this state. Whoever wins here tonight, Pearl or Mr. Calipari, will get all the delegate votes.
Offensive foul, Robert Dozier. Bruce Pearl likes that. John Calipari warned his team today about Tennessee players trying to step in and take charges. That was a big focus in their shoot-around this morning.
A little chip on the shoulder, too. John Calipari plays with that. He constantly, we against the world mentality, always building up. I could have given his pregame speech. This the game, all the media thinks we're getting beat. I can hear him talking right now to the team.
I keep hearing his players saying how they're the most underappreciated number 1 ever. I don't know who underappreciates them. They got a great team. We got 2 great teams here tonight. That's the first missed shot by Tennessee, but another offensive rebound. And of the 2 teams, Memphis is a much better rebounding team.
That's because of the presence of Dorsey.
Nice pass. Cruz inside, and Chisholm misses the layup.
Got to convert those, and you get that 2-man play on the interior. See, I think you got to establish a little inside play here.
Nothing but threes so far for Memphis, but they're dropping more often than not. Chris Roberts.
He's a pro, there's no doubt about it. He's the premier wing player in the USA.
Got a chance to be a first-team All-American by the end of the season. He's having an outstanding year.
They showed a real unbelievable resilience when they were down 7 with 1:22 to go against UAB and won the game last Saturday.
Another Tennessee turnover. That was the closest call that Memphis has had all season. Anderson, another three.
Who said they're only an average shooting team? Wow, are they shooting the trifecta tonight?
Bruce Pearl's going to let the Vols play through it.
He told me on a phone call yesterday, he said if they beat us shooting the three, they deserve to win.
Tip your cap. They better have hand signals for their plays because nobody's hearing anything here tonight.
Tough play, bad play. Can't make that pass. Impossible.
Rose the pull-up three.
Eventually they're going to get cold. They are not a great shooting team. I really buy the philosophy of Bruce Pearl, letting him try to beat him from the perimeter.
Jawan Smith is beating him from the perimeter. His third three already in this game.
I tell you, those Smiths, Jawan, Ramar, Tyler, what a story. Tyler coming back to Tennessee, played in Iowa. It's been documented. His dad passing away. The NCAA showed a lot of heart and a lot of compassion in allowing him to be eligible this year.
Here's a steal by Prince. Got it back, turned it over. Tennessee sloppy with the ball early.
This is where Rose really excels.
Sean Taggart wide open. They are white hot right here tonight from beyond the arc.
I tell you, John Calipari cannot believe it. I don't care what he says. I don't care what he says. There is no way that he can believe that they are making threes like that tonight.
They've made 6 already. Tennessee's made 3. Last year, the Vols won by 18 in Knoxville. Chris Lofton had 34 points in that game.
You know, he was in a shooting slump earlier this year, but then after the Kentucky loss, he really got on fire.
He's on the bench now, but there hasn't been a whistle in a long time. Look at that shot. Not a good shot by Smith. And count the bucket. Basket and a foul for Duke Cruz takes us to a much-needed breather here at the FedEx Forum. Man, are these two teams, Dick, lighting it up from outside in the early going.
I tell you, they're on fire. Nothing but nylon. Shoot the trifecta, baby. Hey, is Elvis in the house?
Perfect is
a circle,
a sunset.
a snowflake, idea.
Perfect is a season.
Well, so far Memphis is perfect, unbeaten on the year at 26-0. Can they run the table? Can they do what these teams did? Bill Russell in 1950.
Perry just won his 400th game. I'm telling you, staying here, he's going to win a lot of games.
Duke Cruz knocks down the free throw. Tennessee back within 3. You saw 10 of the 11 shots attempted by the Tigers have been threes. Andre Allen is into the game now at the point. A tenacious defender for Memphis. Chris Lofton is among those who have returned for Tennessee. Dorsey inside, and fouling him is Ramar Smith as we check in with Aaron Andrews.
Dan, I have no idea how both of these coaches still have their coats on. I was just listening to Bruce Pearl's huddle, and he was, needless to say, intense. He reminded his team, look, they are making threes that they normally do not make. Do not leave them open, and sooner or later, they will stop falling. Dan?
All right, Aaron, by the way, if you're wondering why Bruce Pearl's not wearing the orange blazer that you've sometimes seen as you adjust your television set at home, a couple of years ago, and Coach Mears said yes, and Bruce Pearl said, who should I wear it against? And he said, well, I always wore it against Vanderbilt and Kentucky. So those are the two schools where the orange jacket comes out. But Bruce Pearl did say this morning, you know what? If we ever get to a Final Four, it might have to make an appearance again.
You know, Ray Mears did a great job. He and his assistant, Stu Aberdeen, both did a phenomenal job while at Tennessee. Had the Bernie Ernie show at one time.
Hard to believe that the program's never gone deeper than the Sweet 16, but this group certainly has the potential.
haven't won an SEC title in 41 years. Not scored, you're down 4, and they're on fire shooting threes. I mean, think about that. You're right in the game. Your star hasn't scored, and you're down 4, and they're on fire.
Tennessee has played very well on the road this year. It won't drop for Tyler Smith. The follow misses as well, and Dorsey comes down with a rebound.
Well, in the 2 losses, Texas beat them. Nice transition. Got to make that layup. Got the poor angle right there going to the goal.
Jeff Robinson misses the layup. Ramar Smith, good patience, and he misses one from in close. Brian Williams hits the floor, and there's a hold going against the Tigers. Holds are getting the loose balls, getting the rebounds right now in a game loaded with intensity. They got into it a little bit in the tunnel before the game. They continue to go chest to chest here on the court.
You know how we coming. Get out our way.
The lob for Brian Williams. He can't come up with it, and here comes Andre Allen. Robinson knocks it in. Nice touch.
Well, he did a great job reversing the ball. Allen with the good extra pass. Played under control. This Memphis team, what's always really impressed me about John Calipari's club is that they've been able to meet every challenge. Everybody plays at another level against them. Even teams that are inferior play at such a high level, you got to forget about their records.
They obviously don't get the challenges in their conference that some of the other big-time teams get in theirs, but they've beaten the likes of Georgetown, Gonzaga, UConn, Arizona, and others on their way to a 26-0 record. Another
That's
3, and
shot.
there's a miss by Willie Kemp.
He shot that from Graceland. That's a bad shot. I'll tell you this, you know, beating the teams they beat, and you mentioned Georgetown, Connecticut, Arizona, Southern Cal, Gonzaga, Bill Russell, lefty.
Tyler Smith, their leading assist guy, despite the fact he's a forward. Plenty of time. Ramar Smith, and they miss another layup. Chisholm with a follow.
Chisholm with the good aggressive offensive rebound. We talked about also on the top of the show, Key, contain Lofton, and they have done a brilliant job containing him here tonight.
These two schools, Dick, separated by almost 400 miles. Memphis in the west end of the state, and Tennessee in the east end of the state in Knoxville. Vanderbilt in the middle in Nashville. There's a lot of great basketball being played in this state. You look at Austin Peay and others. This is one of the hotbeds right now.
Exactly. Yep. Kevin Stallings is so underrated at Vanderbilt. The job he has done.
And you talked about a Tennessee at Vandy Tuesday night, 9 Eastern, right here on ESPN.
I think Foster's got to be MVP in the league. Either here or Jamon Gordon, because these teams maybe have great players when you talk team like Tennessee, but they spread it out so much their offensive firepower.
Boy, Tyler Smith is tough. You talked about the story. He transferred back from Iowa to Tennessee. His father died of lung cancer. He's got a tattoo of a couple of teardrops coming down from his left eye, and a nice move by the NCAA, a compassionate move to waive the year off, and he was eligible to play immediately.
Look at them shooting that 3.
CDR again.
He gives you CPR, baby. I'll tell you that. That kid is, without a doubt, one of the 5 best players in the United States.
Well, right now, Memphis has 7 3-point field goals and only 1 2-pointer. Battle for the ball. Taggart comes up with it.
Tennessee cannot win this game unless Lofton starts making some threes.
Yep. CDR again. What a pace. It's a good thing both of these teams are deep. They're going to need all their bodies tonight.
Well, they're going to the bench. See right there. Poor job defensively. John Calipari's got to be really upset with the defensive effort in transition. Can't be happy with that play. Watch this right now. The defense allows a big gap. He goes right in. You can put a Mack truck through there.
Ramar Smith, the bucket, the foul on Antonio Anderson, his second, and he is a good scorer for them, but really a great defender. That is his best role, and he'll sit down now with a couple of fouls, as among those who check back in, Derrick Rose and also Donnell Mack, a sophomore.
Mistake. Not a Tom Izzo let him get out of this state. The people at Michigan.
Ramar Smith having a big start. He and Jawan Smith are really carrying the balls offensively right now. And here's something that Memphis worked on extensively today as well, this pressure, getting the ball inbounds and trying to get down the floor.
Well, they're going to full-court trap. You know that. There it is right there. See, post to the opposite side. Bring the ball away from the trap.
Roberts on a tear, averaging better than 27 points per game in his last 3 after a couple of down games because of the foot.
And what about some consideration for Rick Barnes and the job he's doing at Texas? Think about it.
Robinson for 3. This is unbelievable.
They're raining threes here in Memphis tonight. That was the coaching plan defensively by Tennessee. Let them shoot the three.
Yet Tennessee is within 5.
You know, for the season, I just looked that up statistically. Tennessee has made 90 more threes than their opponents, basically because of Lofton. But tonight, Memphis has the edge 8-3.
With Lofton out, Josh Tab into the game. He is a superior defender, and he draws Derrick Rose, who goes right by him, but misses the floater.
Derrick Rose out of the Windy City, one of the type of dandies in America, certainly one of the real impact freshmen.
Lamar Smith sneaks inside. He has been penetrating almost at will tonight. Tough bounce pass into traffic, stolen by Rose. Donnell Mack.
That's his expertise. He's the guy that can shoot the three.
Robinson goes flying, and here come the balls. Jawan Smith spins, and Dorsey came over and got a finger on it.
Dorsey, great job rotating over, closing off the driving angle.
In the game last year up in Knoxville, Dick, Dorsey fouled out in only 15 minutes, had 13 rebounds. If they can keep him on the floor, he's a game changer.
Yeah, he had 2 points in the game, 13 rebounds, but he got in foul trouble early, and Tennessee just blew him out. They also shot 29%, Memphis, in that game.
This is the third year of an 8-year series. They alternate back and forth between Knoxville and here. No neutral site games elsewhere in the state. Douglas Roberts, in and out.
That's what he does well, taking it to the goal. I know for a fact, though, that Memphis doesn't want to go to Knoxville. In the next series, they want to play on a neutral. They want to play in Nashville.
Well, they got a few years to deal with the home and home. And really, when you look at the environment here, and we weren't there, but you can imagine what the environment was like last year and will be next year. How can you deny? I mean, this is a series that has to be played somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to play. There's no question they're going to play. It's just a matter of fact they're trying to play in Nashville.
Yeah. Double team on Tyler Smith. 3 on the shot clock. Jawan Smith. And it is out of bounds to the Tigers. All right, Scott. Well, number 1 and number 2 here. The 38th all-time meeting between the top 2 teams in the rankings. Saturday primetime presented by DirecTV. And when you got a game this big, you're going to have the queen in the house, or at least the wife of the king, Priscilla Presley, who last night lit up Graceland, Memphis Blue.
I was younger. Hey, Peyton's in the house. His brother Eli spoiled a team that was going for an unblemished year.
That's right.
The Patriots. But at least Tom Brady, consolation, he went home to Giselle Bundchen. Oh, wow, what a consolation that is.
I'd like to make a correction. You used to have a crush on Priscilla Presley?
Wow. I got a crush on Lorraine McGrath now.
5-point lead for Memphis. They've made 8 threes and 1 2-point field goal in this game. Chris Lofton, the leading scorer for the Vols, scoreless and on the bench with 2 fouls.
That is so big. They got to get Lofton involved in that second half.
Baseline jumper not there for Howell.
There's that medium range jump shot falling away, Howell.
Down to 38% from the field. Their rebounding is keeping them in the game right now.
Okay, now they come out of that zone. They play man-to-man. Here's where they go to that offense where they want to put the ball to the floor. Aaron, they want to attack the basket, Aaron.
Dick, I have to tell you, John Calipari told me yesterday, last Tennessee, he said he did not have the stomach to do it. He said 2 things in that game. 1, Chris Lofton was amazing, as we've mentioned. And one thing he stressed all day in practice yesterday, you have got to get on Lofton body to body. If you do that, that will bother him. And Dan, that is what has happened tonight.
Duke Cruz the foul, Aaron.
He went to Tennessee, and what a career. I mean, he's going to be one of the all-time greats ever to play at Tennessee.
Was in a real shooting slump earlier this year after the Kentucky loss. Broke out of it and has been shooting about 50% from beyond the arc the last several weeks.
He goes the free throw line. Yeah. Remember, they're last in Division I, 328. I think ultimately that hurts you. I don't know. I know last year they shot well in the tournament, went to the Elite Eight. And I think psychologically that's got to bother you as a coach.
Last year they shot 61% from the field during the season, but then 71% in the tournament. Douglas Roberts. It rattles out the long rebound right back to him.
Well, Smith did a great job not letting them get to the basket.
How about Derrick Rose? Almost unstoppable.
He's so uncanny, so unique. I think he and Aaron Gordon and Love have certainly lived up to all the buildup coming out of high school.
Nice look inside. Tyler Smith with the finish.
Great art of moving without the basketball. One of the lost arts in the game.
First field goal in 4 minutes for the Vols brings them back within 5.
You know, everybody talks about the schedule being a little bit, weak. And certainly in Conference USA, you don't face the major clubs you face in the Big East, etc. But I think Houston and UAB still have a chance to get in the big dance.
UAB almost beating Memphis a week ago, losing by a point. Another Memphis turnover.
Robert David's having a great year for UAB, former Indiana Hoosier.
Howell open in the corner, and the fifth-year senior misses the 3. A countdown.
He looks like he's committed now, dedicating himself to really want to have a good year. You know, Memphis has had only 5 games decided by single figures. UAB by 1, USC 4 in overtime, UTEP, Gonzaga, and Houston.
Foul away from the ball. Goes against Memphis.
You know, Jerry Tarkanian, I know, has told me several times that his club that went unblemished in '91, he thinks a loss might have helped them. They would never, ever challenge. I think the closest game, he said, was like about 9.
John Calipari not sure of that call. It goes on Dorsey, Dick. It's his second, and with 4 minutes left in the half, he sits down.
Yeah, Dorsey's so valuable because he's the one dominating rebounder they have.
And a great shot blocker. Reigning CUSA Defensive Player of the Year.
See, they can attack inside without Dorsey on the floor.
Cruz misses the jump hook. They thought they had lost him for the season, but back from a heart ailment that was not as serious as was originally thought. Chris Douglas Roberts misses the front end.
See, there it is, the free throw line.
Yep, Tennessee's not good, but Memphis is dismal.
Well, keeps you in the game. I think if you're Bruce Pearl with Lofton with 0 points, and the way Memphis has shot the 3, that they can go in at halftime with a chance to win, I think they're very fortunate.
Nowhere for Chisholm to go, so he tries the reverse, misses it. It'll be Memphis ball as we check in with Aaron Andrews.
Dan, in talking about perfection, he doesn't use them anymore, but Calipari telling me he's able to use that lesson to his team. He thinks in the end the media and the distractions got to the Pats. Memphis player Antonio Anderson, who is from Massachusetts, says, yeah, coach didn't bring it up after the Super Bowl victory, and quite frankly, Anderson's still trying to get over the loss himself.
CDR, the junior out of Detroit, having a sensational season, averaging almost 18 points per game, shooting 56% from the floor. Let's see if the Vols can get Lofton a look. Andre Allen is on him right now, and Allen is a pit bull.
He's right up in his face. Not going to give him any open look for that 3.
Called for the foul.
He's not going to give him an open look for the 3.
In about a week and a half. Lofton at the line. He'll knock it down. Judgment of the Week presented by Jockey is on ESPN at 7 Eastern on a Monday. Marquette taking on ESPN.
Well, Lofton got his first point, had 34 last year. You mentioned the Big 12. Michael Beasley, we'll see him next week. Rock Chalk, Jayhawk Land, love that place down in Lawrence.
Ooh, travel on Allen, he knew it.
They had that stunning loss today to Oklahoma State.
And Oklahoma State, that is starting to play better now, has won 4 out of 5 the Cowboys have.
I know you don't care, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I think my #1 seeds, when it's all said and done, there's a lot of basketball we played yet. I think you're going to have UCLA in there. I think you're going to have North Carolina. I think you're going to have Tennessee, and you're going to have Memphis.
No Kansas with that loss today. Chisholm knocks down a 3, and Tennessee is right back in it.
You know, he can shoot 3s. He has taken 63 coming into this game. Remember, Memphis got a 47-game win streak. BYU's 45, and Notre Dame is 35. 35 current home court win streaks.
The Irish somewhat quietly playing some great basketball right now with the probable Big East Player of the Year in Luke Herringode.
Oh, I think that's a lot. Tennessee's won 30 in a row, and next week we'll be in Rock Chalk, Jayhawk Land. They've won 22 in a row.
Good save by Chisholm. What an effort there.
They push the ball. They run that ball up the floor. That's their style.
Chisholm feeling it. The tip up, but no, and there's a push. Good call.
Absolutely.
I don't know what Jeff Robinson's complaining about, because that was an easy call.
It was a very easy call. A guy with one eye like me could see that, baby.
Scattered orange here amongst all the blue at FedEx Forum. The Vols have never been ranked this high in the history of the program. It's the best start in program history, and they lead the SEC in so many categories, and they're averaging about 8,000 more in attendance than they used to. They got a new practice facility. They've remodeled Phase 1 at Thompson Bowling Arena. I mean, Bruce Pearl's got it going on.
He's got it going, but also, what about Pat Summitt?
Yeah.
You talk about winning 7 national titles. I can't wait. As you know, we're honoring Pat on May 16th over in Sarasota, Florida, along with Bob Knight. It's going to be unbelievable. Anybody wants to go, just go to my website, DickVitaleOnline.com, or call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V. And remember, all the money we raise is going to go to help kids battling cancer.
6-0 run for the Vols. Lofton on the bench has not made a field goal, has had some foul trouble. Donnell Mack a miss. Rose taps it back out. Rose inside the arc. Soft touch.
He's shooting well tonight.
Yeah.
What a future he has. The sky is unlimited. He's going to be such a talented player at the next level in transition. And falling back, look at this. And a little passive defensively, so a little soft.
Chisholm down on the post. We're into the final minute of the first half. Off the glass and good. He's had some big minutes here down the stretch.
He's showing inside-outside ability. I think Tennessee's got to be very happy with where they're sitting right now after the way Memphis was on fire early with those threes.
A team that is 7-2 in true road games this year. Rose for 3. And Tennessee can take the lead. They can hold it if they want to. Tab. And now Memphis and Rose seize the clock, and the Tigers will hold for the last shot.
You know, Chisholm really has come up big here late in this half to keep them where they're at. Remember, baby, #1 at stake, 47 in a row at home at stake. Can Memphis go undefeated in the regular season?
Robinson steps into the 3. They got 4 seconds. Prince. An entertaining first half comes to a close.
Yeah, it really has been. I mean, it hasn't been pure in terms of the play, been a little sloppy, but you've seen some three-point shooting. You've seen a lot of good athleticism, and most of all, a lot of passion.
A 1-point game. Aaron Anders is with Bruce Pearl.
All right, well, Coach, what has Memphis done to Chris Lofton in the first half?
Hold him, drape him like this,
Okay.
right?
All right.
They're doing a good job of making his touches difficult. What a start to the game, huh? That's nuts, the way both teams are shooting the ball. They can't beat us from 3 all night long. They just can't. I thought offensively, we were impatient. Running was good early, but then after they were back, we just took a boatload of bad shots. We're fortunate to only be down 1.
How are you in this? The fact that they were just draining threes left and right.
Because we don't panic. We're poised. And, you know, we got some good players, too.
All right, Bruce, thank you.
Looking forward to the second half. It's halftime here of the ESPN Saturday primetime game for the FedEx Forum. A 1-point lead for Memphis. Coming up in the UPS halftime report, Kansas loses at Oklahoma State.
So has it been everything it was advertised to be? The freshman Derrick Rose got Memphis off to a great start. 10 points in the first half, but Tennessee is down just by 1 at the break, 35-34. Reese Davis along with Hubert Davis, Digger Phelps, Jay Billis. Memphis on fire from three-point land. They've already hit 8 of them on the night. Yeah. Tennessee's winning the rebounding battle. Everything seems to be turned upside down. You like the position the Volunteers are in right now.
They have to feel very good to be in this position, only down by 1 here at halftime because they haven't played particularly well. But you really have to compliment Memphis defensively on Chris Lofton. They've only held him to 1 point, 1 field goal attempt. Antonio Anderson and Andre Allen have been fantastic guarding him in the first half.
Well, if you're Bruce Pearl and you say we're only down 1 and Chris Lofton no field goals, let's get it done the second half. I thought Reese and I are talking to each other during the first half. I thought, Jay, both teams got tired at the 8-minute mark because of all the energy and the adrenaline going, and they just were exhausted and they had a little low in that first half.
Yeah, I think that's part of it, and I think Tennessee's done a really good job of pushing the ball up the court, and it's Tennessee who's beating Memphis off the dribble. Memphis got to do a better job of guarding the ball, and they also have to do a better job on their defensive glass because it was Tennessee who was getting those second shots, and both teams have to do a better job of shot selection. I thought they pulled the trigger a little too early on some shots.
You don't like that Sean Taggart 3 or Jeff Robinson?
Hey, how about Jeff Robinson? He had a couple in the first half. He'd only made 3 all year. He was 3 out of 20. Memphis was shooting it from everywhere. We've got a 1-point game at the break. The other dominant story. 765, UConn's 10-game winning streak is over. Your breath. Jawan Smith, 9 points in the first half. He was deadly from beyond the arc. What a great first half, and the second half just around the corner. Memphis #1 and up by 1.
Passion, poise, and purpose. Passion, poise, and purpose allow us to win on the road. We're going to play with passion, but we're going to have poise when they make their runs, poise when they block shots, poise when they talk to us, poise when it gets elevated a little bit. Because everything we do with a purpose. The way we guard, the way we rebound, the way we fast break, and the way we execute.
Welcome back to ESPN Saturday Night Primetime, presented by DirecTV inside FedEx Forum here in Memphis. The toughest ticket in town, to say the least. #1 Memphis, #2 Tennessee. A 1-point game as we go to the second half. Passion, poise, and purpose. Priscilla, Peyton, and Penny. It's the P's here all night long. What's going to decide this game in the second half?
He forgot about points. You got to talk about points as well.
Yeah.
I tell you this, I think that he's in great shape to only be down 1 like he has been here in his first half, especially the way they shot threes. Memphis cannot win this game exclusively going to the 3. They got to get to the basket, get some transition layups, some inside play. They're not going to win the game just firing all kinds of threes. Tennessee wants them to do that.
Aaron Andrews had a chance to visit with the Memphis staff to find out some adjustments for the second half.
Dan, head coach John Calipari told me he loved the intensity of his team in the first half. He said he didn't like the fact he had to stop the game less than a minute in to remind them they were being out-hustled. But he said after I reminded them, he loved how gritty and physical they were. He wants to see that in the second half. He said the way his team will be able to pull it out in the second half is all in Robert Dozier and Joey Dorsey's hands. They have to get inside, they have to get to the loose balls, and they have to rebound the ball.
Well, Aaron Dozier played only 4 minutes of foul trouble in the first half. Lofton played 10, had only 1 point. He's their leading scorer, a great shooter. And Memphis Dick started off the night 7 of 11 from 3, then went 1 of 9 the rest of the half.
Well, you know, basically they've not been a good shooting team all year from the perimeter. And I think Tennessee's philosophy allowing them to shoot the 3 has really been, to me, I think a smart play, even though they were effective early.
Dorsey the miss, the rebound to Chisholm. The biggest lead of the game was Memphis by 7 with about 5 minutes to go in the first half.
You know, Memphis goes 8 for 20, as you say, from the 3. They've only made 3 baskets in terms of 2-point baskets.
And of the 11 baskets they've got, Derrick Rose has made 4 of them and assisted on 4 others.
He's been involved in 8 of the 11. You expect that from the star point guard.
Tyler Smith and the Vols lead, their first lead since 11-9, less than 3 minutes into the game.
See, I think offensively you got to have balance. You got to have the perimeter 3, but you're also going to have scoring on the interior as well.
Tyler Smith now with 11. Derrick Rose leads Memphis with 10. Douglas Roberts wide open, short on the 3.
They're going to allow him to shoot that 3 all night, Dan.
Ramar Smith with a burst of speed. And the foul will be before the basket.
Yeah, they're going to wave the goal off.
Look at the first half stats here tonight. These two teams set a torrid pace offensively the first 6 minutes or so. Then they both cooled off. Maybe the biggest surprise, Dick, the points in the paint, 16-2 for Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee dominated the inside. Also a big surprise to me is the way they've been able to contain Lofton.
Lofton has attempted just 1 shot, has 1 point in the game.
They've made a decision to body up on him, to really not give him any good looks from the perimeter.
Rose surrounded.
You got to try to close off that driving angle, form a wall. See, they try to get you one-on-one.
Dozier, there's the guy Aaron was talking about that John Calipari mentioned to her.
He's long and lean. He's very athletic.
6'9" shooter out of Lithonia, Georgia, averaging better than 10 points, 7 rebounds per game.
He's also added 20 pounds to his frame.
Lofton can't get free for a shot, Dick.
No, they're right up in his face. They're giving him no looks whatsoever.
Chisholm for 3.
Oh, serious? I mean, are you serious? As Teddy B would say, are the banks open, baby? Are they open here in Memphis?
John Calipari couldn't believe it. Turned his back on the play after it happened.
That's a bad sign for Memphis.
And it'll be knocked out of bounds. Tennessee ball.
I mean, here you are in transition, and they're trying to play for the three rather than a layup. Look at Chisholm right now. I mean, are you kidding? Think he called that? You think he called it? He said, I can shoot the three. Look at the smile on his face. He said, I want to be big man on campus when we go back to Knoxville.
Chisholm, a sophomore out of Jackson, Tennessee, a high school teammate of Memphis's Willie Kemp.
Yeah, Willie Kemp now coming off the bench. Hasn't been a factor here tonight.
Lamar Smith turns the corner, off the glass, in and out.
I'll tell you, those athletes really break you down with the dribble, the Smith guys. Lamar, Jawan.
Yeah, Lamar, Jawan, Tyler, all Smiths, none of them related, all of them starters for this Tennessee team as Andre Allen comes back in, and Derek.
A defensive player, very solid defensively.
Averages, last year averaged better than 2 steals per game. Timeout taken by the Vols, unable to get the ball in. Andrews, the Game Day gang, all here inside FedEx Forum in Memphis. #1 Tigers, #2 Vols. The last 6 times that #1 and #2 have met, 5 of those 6 times, Dick, #2 has won, including Ohio State over Wisconsin a year ago.
Well, you know, #2's usually got a chip on their shoulder. Ohio State won that 1-point game over Wisconsin.
Dozier with a block.
Dozier's so long, lean, and athletic.
Allen cannot finish at the other end. The pace quickening again. Lofton all the way. Dozier with another block. And a great save by Antonio Anderson.
You want to get a good shot out of this possession.
Douglas Roberts short. Rebound Chisholm. Up and down they go.
Run, baby, run.
Jawan Smith knocked out of bounds. Tennessee ball.
You know, it's great to see clubs running up and down the floor. It really is.
Averaging about 84 points per game. Memphis about 81.
You know, Lofton has a chance. He needs 27 points to become a 2,000-point scorer. Allen Houston, Grunfeld, Tony White, Reggie Johnson, and Dale Ellis.
You know, they've got some tradition. Allen Houston, Dale Ellis was a Vol. You talked about Bernie and Bernie. I mean, just great players, but this is the highest ranking that Tennessee basketball, men's basketball, has ever had.
They've never been #1 in 100 years. They can have that happen tonight.
Lamar Smith, and the follow not there. Tennessee runs down the loose ball again.
Out-hustled them, out-scrapped them.
And hurt is Chisholm. Chisholm is down. An easy winner over Oklahoma today. Damian James with a double-double. A foul against Memphis.
Mentioned Kansas State.
Douglas Roberts, Chisholm out, and Duke Cruz is back into the game to take his place. Prince, no. Rebound Dorsey.
He's such a wide body.
Chisholm, by the way, waved off the trainer, says he's fine.
What a play by Derrick Rose. I mean, just terrific. What I like about him, he doesn't seem to force shots. He plays unselfishly, plays to win.
Got a dozen right now, the high score in the game, and we're tied at 39.
Got away from Illinois. He's really struggling this year.
Look at the hustle by Dorsey hitting the floor. So you don't need to go inside the family. You just want a coach with a proven track record. Howell, long on the 3.
Well, the first guy I would hire, and they're not going to hire him, is Robert Montgomery Knight. I'd bring him back to Bloomington. You talk about excitement, and he's got at least 10 years left in coaching. If I were an AD somewhere, South Carolina, I'd give a call to Mr. Knight.
Rose, and a block. What a defensive play by J.P. Prince.
He's got those long arms, Prince. Nice cut without the ball.
Prince runs the floor and jams. The transfer out of Arizona had a serious health issue. Wisdom teeth taken out, an infection developed, lost a lot of weight in an induced coma, has gradually gotten stronger and healthier, and now is back in his home state of Tennessee. He's actually from White Station High School right here in Memphis.
You know, he's really such an asset coming off the bench. Look how he cuts without the ball right down the gut. Nobody rotates over. Poor job defensively finding your man. Communication's a must. Prince, a valuable guy off the bench.
Again, Tennessee, a very deep team. Lofton foul trouble in the first half. Chisholm, an injury here in the second half, but they play on and they lead on the road against #1. The follow is there for Prince again. What a great play.
I tell you, he's been a real plus off the bench.
Rebounding, Dick, is a huge story. Memphis statistically a much better rebounding team than Tennessee, but right now the Vols are crushing them on the glass, and Prince has two.
Give a timeout and T.O., baby. Oh, Mr. Calipari needs this timeout. The Vols are explosive in transition.
They have weathered a couple of storms here tonight. Bruce Pearl talked about the poise, and they're executing right now.
Well, they weathered the storm early, 7 for 11 shooting threes. Take a look at Prince. I mean, he's really such an asset. There he is with the offensive rebound. Ivan on the floor. Look at that hustle. What a great play right there to get that loose ball and the jam. Aaron, I'll tell you, it's run, baby, run by the Vols.
It certainly is. J.P. Prince, as Dan mentioned, grew up Memphis fan, was a ball boy, roamed the sidelines forever at the Pyramid when his father, John, was an assistant under Larry Finch. He says everyone in Memphis knew who he was because he's been playing in front of them since he was in second grade. And you know, it was interesting. Bruce Pearl had mentioned he was maybe going to talk to JP about before the game. He was worried about him being a little too emotional. I can tell you right now, him and Joey Dorsey just had a few words. It is definitely emotional out there.
I tell you, like his cousin is so underrated with the Pistons. Really underrated player.
You'll see him tomorrow against Shaq Nash and the Suns on ABC. When they need a bucket, who do they go to? CDR.
Remember, they were down 7 with 1:22 last Saturday, and Chris Douglas Roberts wouldn't let them lose.
What do you think Bruce Pearl would say as Lofton launches, still has not made a field goal, almost 6 minutes into the second half, and they're winning on the road? He would say
absolutely amazing.
Held ball, it'll stay with Tennessee.
I'll tell you, Mike Hamilton, the fine athletic director of Tennessee, made a great hire when he went after Bruce Pearl, who really got the great opportunity with the success at University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee.
And before that, a protege of Tom Davis, an assistant at BC, Stanford, Iowa. Got his first head coaching job as Prince commits the foul at D2 Southern Indiana, won a national championship there, went to Wisconsin and Milwaukee, had tremendous success there, got his school into the Sweet 16, among others that he beat Alabama in that NCAA tournament, and then took over Tennessee 3 years ago, 70-21, and ranked second in the nation.
So the message is loud and clear to some of those mid-major schools. If you win and get to the Sweet 16, you become a hot commodity.
Sure do.
With a lot of jobs that will be opening up.
Douglas Roberts from the baseline, little push shot from 12 feet.
I'll tell you, that guy's got a winner's mentality. He makes big plays whenever they're struggling.
Nickname is Buckets, and we see why. Chisholm back into the game, but he turns it over.
CDR
averaging 18 a game, better than 27 a game his last 3, a dozen tonight.
Trying to get him one-on-one, trying to get him isolated.
Anderson for 3. Memphis started the game 7 of 11 from three-point range. They are 1 of 11 since. Powell can't turn the corner on Andre Allen.
And that's the reason why Bruce Pearl has said we're going to let him try to beat us from the perimeter.
Nice cut by Lofton. His first field goal of the night.
And what a way. Rather than a 3, cuts without the basketball. I tell you, they're doing a great job with their motion offensively, moving without the ball.
Tennessee by 4. The number 2 Volunteers. If they win tonight, they'll go to number 1 for the first time in program history. And Douglas Roberts travels.
Remember at stake here, to let you people again remember this. Memphis has won 47 in a row at home.
And Jordan Howe, I'm sorry, Dick, comes up limping, and he's going to have to leave the game. I'm in with 3 fouls.
47 in a row, the longest win streak at home. 26-0, the only unbeaten team. Number 1. These are all the numbers that are at stake.
And bragging rights for the rest of their lives in the state of Tennessee. Lofton, a wild shot. And a foul.
And a national championship in this game here.
Number 1 against number 2. Just the 5th time ever 2 teams from the same state have been ranked 1 and 2 and played one another. Twice Duke against Carolina, twice Cincinnati against Ohio State back in the early 60s. As both coaches have said, this is the kind of atmosphere, game hype normally reserved for a game between, say, Kentucky and Louisville, or a couple of Indiana schools, or a couple of North Carolina schools. But Tennessee, as good a state in college basketball as there's been this season. Timeout taken by Memphis. It may be just one game, but you wouldn't know that. It's not just any other game when you look at the faces of these coaches. Hey, ABC is your end.
Certainly have had a tough week when you talk about the Suns playing the likes of the Lakers, the Celtics, and now the Pistons.
Third game for Shaq. Here's what he's done in the first two. Looks pretty healthy. Looks pretty sprung.
Lawson, perfect game against the Hoyas at Georgetown.
Memphis will try to get it in again. The lob inside for Dorsey. Banging away inside, and it's rejected. I think it was Prince who came over as the help defender.
I tell you, they're really staying nose to nose with Dorsey. Not getting intimidated. Lofton not getting any looks from the trifecta at all.
Dorsey, no field goals, just 1 point. Now, granted, he's much more of a factor defensively, but you'd like a little offense on the inside from him.
He only had 2 against Tennessee last year. Out of foul trouble, 13 rebounds.
Dozier's only made 1 shot. Taggart's only made 1 shot. Their bigs are not doing a lot offensively. There's a 3 for Chisholm.
I'll tell you, they're playing with a lot of confidence, and I'll tell you something else they've done. They've really quieted this crowd a little bit. Crowd was a lot more emotional early in this game.
Biggest lead of the night for the Vols. Rose. It won't drop it. We've got a foul. And it's going against Prince, I believe. If it is, it's his 4th. We've got a timeout on the floor, and Tennessee has played great here in the second half in an intense affair. Number 2 trying to beat number 1, and they're up by 7. Nationally, and then look at the results within the state of Tennessee and how different they are.
Wow, yeah, it's certainly different. I mean, it looks like we're looking at some of the primaries right now. I mean, where's the name? Obama and Clinton. I told you, whoever wins this game is going to own this state. Hey, the difference in this game, I think, rebounding, when you look at Tennessee, 16 offensive rebounds to only 6. When you're offensively rebounding, that means you're playing aggressive basketball. Block shots, 4 steals, deflections. That means you're playing aggressive basketball.
By the way,
Get a ball, do something in the paint, we need you.
He doesn't care if he breaks his hand. Are you kidding?
He's trying to motivate him.
Break his hand. Wow. He better call my son-in-law who's a hand specialist.
Dozier, 4 points, 1 rebound tonight. Lofton,
bad shot.
Rebound Rose.
Bad shot by the veteran player.
Anderson, followed by Dozier.
That's Memphis basketball. Good timeout by John Calipari. They come back, they get 4 straight points. John Calipari knows how to win as well. He got 2 guys here that really understand how to get the most out of people.
And Robert Dozier out of the doghouse, running the floor, laying it in. He's got 6. Tigers back within 3.
Well, Aaron said that John gave him an ultimatum.
Yep. The old do something, why don't you? Both coaches can use the bench as a motivator. They're both so deep.
Another offensive rebound.
They're 17th offensive rebound for the Vols.
See, now execution out of the half-court game becomes important. That's another vital part when you get into the NCAA tournament. The game becomes more half-court oriented.
Good help on Rose. The kick to a wide-open Mack.
That's his supposedly specialty. That's why he's on the floor to shoot the 3.
Well, you can't say enough about Tennessee's rebounding. That was expected to be a weakness for them in this game.
Especially with Dorsey, Dozier, and Taggart. They out-rebound their opponents by better than 8 when you're talking.
Yes.
Memphis, so one of the rules he had on the blackboard before the game, he said plus 10 on the rebounds is what we want.
And Bruce Pearl also wrote, rebound like your life depended on it. And I think the Vols have done that tonight.
Wait a minute, he said that because he told me that the game Tuesday's more important against Vanderbilt.
You fell for that old trick,
gee,
huh?
I fell for, you know, it is statistically, there's no question when you talk about how important that game is in the SEC. However, when you talk bragging rights, number 1, trying to beat a team that's undefeated, it's special.
Douglas Roberts back in. See if he can ignite them offensively. Jawan Smith, 3 early threes in this game. 3 senior guards on the floor right now for the Vols. How important is that in hostile territory?
Well, you know, the Vols have done a great job, I think, in hostile territory, really silencing the crowd, keeping the emotion in the crowd, giving them that adrenaline and that edge.
The second half was the first time I was able to hear you tonight, actually. It's been so noisy in here.
Hey, Beale Street was rocking and rolling really early. Can you imagine what it would be like if they were to win?
Didn't it feel like it was a football weekend?
Exactly.
Because people were out on the street hours before the game as Tyler Smith will go to the line. Taggart is going back in.
Unselfish play.
Number 4 on Dorsey.
The entire town has been really captivated by the Memphis basketball program. It's been such a nightmare and a struggle with the Grizzlies. 92-8 in his last 3 years.
Dick, remember, Dorsey fouled out in the loss last year in Knoxville, played only 72% on the season.
He's one of the better shooters.
Knocks one down after 3 consecutive misses. Dorsey sitting down with 4 fouls.
That could be big as we talk because he's their one key guy inside.
Chris Lofton back to the bench for the Vols. Douglas Roberts for 3.
They try to isolate Roberts. They really push the ball up the court.
Prince with the nifty reverse.
He's a left-handed player. He made that with his right hand. He's been absolutely sensational off the bench. He has been a roll-aid specialist coming off that bench.
Scoreless at the half. 8 points, Dick, here in the second half.
I guess Peyton's on cloud 9 right now. I know Kenny Chesney is down there. He's saying right now, his #1 song at one time, he's saying, don't blink, baby, don't blink.
Well, if the Vols could win this game, blink, and they'll be #1 for the first time in program history.
25, the second most in one season in school history.
Beat a #1 South Carolina back in 1969. Things are getting bigger and better for these Vols by the year. They're 24-2, 11-1 in the SEC, looking for their first outright SEC championship since 1967.
And I'll tell you one thing, they better lace them up, Kentucky, when they go to Tennessee in that revenge matchup, because Kentucky put the hurt on them up there in Lexington.
And they go to Vandy Tuesday night on ESPN. They still got to go to Gainesville as well. Rose. Good strength by Rose to negative wins here at home.
See, my gut feeling is even if they're going to lose this game, to me, they don't lose the #1 seed on a loss to a team like Tennessee.
Just one timeout remaining for Memphis. 9 minutes to go. Remember, John Calipari used one 35 seconds into the game, but he has been forced to, unhappy with his team's effort at times.
I'll tell you the difference in this game, the difference maker has been Prince. Prince has really been a difference off that bench.
4 buckets here in the second half for J.P. Prince. Chisholm has slipped to 3 points, and Tennessee is up 6. Lofton on the bench.
That shows you that they got more than Mr. Lofton. It shows you they got quite a few good players.
Well, the 2 transfers, J.P. Prince and Tyler Smith, we can see how important they have been tonight.
There's a little man-to-man defense right now. They're trying to form a wall inside so they don't allow them to get to the basket.
Rose driving on Howell.
Why not post him up, bring him right inside like that? Take him right up one-on-one, bring him to the inside.
Derrick Rose with a game-high 16 points.
And nothing really forced. All good shots. I'm so impressed with Derrick Rose.
1 of 13 from beyond the arc since.
You know, I told you early in the game, Dan, I thought his philosophy was very wise. Even though Memphis was making threes, I mean, I said to you, and I think you looked at me kind of strange, I said, good philosophy, back it up, let him shoot the 3. Eventually, reality would set in. Well, they've gone over 21 minutes without making a 3 now, Memphis. Roberts had 59 of the points in that game. He's only got 6 here.
That was their closest call, a 1-point win on the road at UAB a week ago. Rose defended by Ramar Smith, baseline jumper. He has made some tough shots tonight.
I'll tell you, his stock is going up and up and up in the eyes of a lot of people. It was up there to start the season. He likes the big stage, the big moment. They're not going away. I tell you, the Memphis kids aren't just going to fold over. You don't go 26-0 and just fold over, especially on your own home floor.
Tennessee 24-2. Lofton back in the game. 1 for 7, 3 points.
Right up in his face. They're going to make him try to dribble.
He'll drive and lay it in off the glass.
Did a terrific job taking that to the goal because they were determined that they were going to make him beat him off the bounce.
Derrick Rose picks up the dribble, hands it off to Douglas Roberts. They'll try to penetrate. Anderson with a layup.
And that's what Anderson does. Attacks you off the bounce. We got a good one. Number 1 against number 2. 47 in a row at home. Will it come to an end? Undefeated season. The place now getting excited. Priscilla's in the house. Peyton's in the house.
Lofton from the corner. Nice tap. And a blocked shot. Dozier might have gotten it. Here comes Rose. And he turns it over. Got caught in the air.
Yes, sir.
And another bad pass. Sloppy play at both ends. Dozier with a lay-in on the feed from CDR.
That's how you win. Priscilla loves it. R.C. Johnson got the best. He's got the best job tonight, the AD. He's escorting Priscilla all night long.
Peyton Manning is here. Penny Hardaway is here.
Unselfish play on the other end by Chris Douglas Roberts.
Prince inside.
Big
He
time.
has been enormous here in the second half.
He's been like Candace Parker. I mean, he's been a superstar. She's certainly a brilliant performer down there for Pat Summitt.
What a second half for Prince right here in his hometown of Memphis.
He has been a PT Beer, baby, a prime-time performer. He's really performed exceptionally well.
The toughest ticket in town. Good seats going for thousands. Upper deck seats going for hundreds. Everybody's standing, and they're not going to sit down the way Derrick Rose is playing tonight.
He's playing like a genuine All-American, making big plays.
Lamar Smith turns it over.
He's deflected by Rose. He looks a little tired, Rose. He looks really tired. He's winded.
He is.
Oh, is he winded? He's saying, Coach.
Now remember, Memphis only has 1 timeout, so John Calipari doesn't want to use it just to make a sub.
Rose has got 10 in the second half.
And a push.
Did you watch these coaches on the sideline? The emotion, the intensity. Look at the emotion here tonight. Does he want it? Does he want it? Look at this guy. Oh, is he emotional?
Remember, the coaches have their own, don't know if you call it a rivalry, but not the closest of friends. Recruiting battles as Rose, now exhausted, does sit down. Allen comes back in.
But you don't want to lose a guy like Prince. He's playing such a magnificent game here.
Prince out right now with 4 fouls.
Hey, buddy, it's living up to its billing. Many times it doesn't. It's going to be a little dramatic. Might be sloppy at times, but there's drama unfolded here.
Dorsey back in for Memphis with 4 fouls. That's him with a loose ball. Anderson, the glue guy on this Memphis team. Kemp for 3. Tennessee ball, 4.5 to go. Good ball fake by Tyler Smith.
Well, shot selection's going to be big here. Free throw shooting's going to be big down the stretch.
Lofton gets a look. Short on the 3. Dorsey the board.
Now you got to really understand what a good shot is. You want the right people to shoot.
Allen leaning into the defender, draws the contact.
Well, people are on the floor.
A lot of huffing and puffing going on right now. This is the first.
I think it's big. I think anytime you are not a consistently good free throw shooting team, you add a real dilemma. Better than that. With 1 eye, too. I got 1 eye. I'm 68 years of age.
Another miss.
I mean, there it is. Now, you say it's not really important. There's 2 misses in a 1-point game with 4 minutes on the clock.
Memphis is 7 of 14 from the line tonight. Tennessee is 8 for 14.
Well, that's basically what they shoot for the year. Numbers don't lie, do they?
A clear out for Tyler Smith. Memphis is getting all they can handle from J.P. Prince and the high-flying Vols.
Players are just giving it their all out there. You can see it right now on the sidelines.
You know, Aaron, that's why I love college basketball. The kids play with such passion, such feeling, such spirit. You can feel the electricity.
That has been Derrick Rose's spot here tonight.
He has been absolutely sensational. Getting that medium range shot, not forcing any shots.
First lead since less than 2 minutes into this half, and Rose has a game-high 22.
They were down 7. Got that timeout by John Calipari, and they've been a different basketball team.
Lofton, the floater. Memphis ball.
Crowd starting to get really loud again. Tom O'Connor going to do a great job as the head of the selection committee. Now really going to have to weigh what happens if Tennessee loses here. They got a tough one Tuesday against Vanderbilt.
Memphis has gone ice cold.
Over, for example, over Tennessee on a neutral floor.
Beat them by 19. Number 1 Memphis, number 2 Tennessee. Tigers and John Calipari cannot believe that the Tennessee player, I think it was Chisholm, was not called for a foul on that play. So the Vols get the ball back. Each team is led by as many as 7 in a very, very intense physical affair here tonight.
Well, you know, Mr. Pearl says in 40 minutes, and we got a chance to be number 1. Well, what about 2:44 on the clock? And you got the basketball down 1. You got a chance to be number 1.
Time turns it over. Rose, Douglas Roberts.
That's the guy they want to bring the ball to. He's usually clutch at the end of the game. Hadn't scored. He's limping. He's limping.
Douglas Roberts hobbling back on D.
Little revenge game for the Jayhawks.
And then 2 weeks from now, Carolina at Duke.
Oh, wow, that's always special. That's the best rivalry in all of college basketball.
Tyler Smith to the rack. It's a 1-point game.
How did they allow him to get to the basket? Nobody rotated over defensively. You got to see ball you man.
Meanwhile, Jawan Smith, who's been suffering from cramps, has gone to the scores table, still trying to walk it off and getting ready to check in.
Now managing the clock really big. Shot selection so important.
Rose. Mack.
They've been waiting for him to hit a 3.
Yeah.
He has had 3 open looks.
They haven't hit a 3 this half.
Exactly. They haven't hit one since the 8-minute mark in the first half.
Started 7 of 11, 1 for 15 since. Taking some ingredients here tonight, don't you?
The drama. He's the kid I would like to have the ball if I were coaching right here. I want the ball in his hands.
No call. Still alive. Great play by Rose to tap it back
What a terrific play. You talk about intangibles. What a great basketball IQ to keep that ball alive and give him another possession.
Not a lot of holes in Derrick Rose's game. Memphis with the ball and a 1-point lead as we go inside the final minute.
This is a championship heavyweight fight. 12 rounds. I mean, this baby's going right to the last second.
Gonna use some clock. It's down to 10.
It's a heavyweight championship. Nice pass, great extra passes. Oh, you got to convert that.
And Dozier and Dorsey, 2 teammates, battling for the rebound. They turn it over. Oh, what a missed opportunity, Dick, for Memphis.
Well, they had an open layup. They made the extra pass. They executed exceptionally well. They didn't convert. This kid's got great vision, Rose. There's the extra pass right there. You got to convert that. He didn't realize how wide open he was.
Yep. A 6-second difference between, maybe 7-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock.
Well, Memphis will get a chance to get the ball back if they were to score.
Smith in good position. Tough D. Tough shot.
What a tough shot by Tyler Smith. Big time play to transfer from out of Iowa.
Memphis has 1 timeout left. Will John Calipari use it?
I would if I were him. I'd call the timeout and
Doesn't
get him
look like it.
No, he's going to let him play.
Let him play.
See, if I were in transition, I say yes. But in a half-court situation...
Anderson, no. Rebound, Tennessee, and a foul.
See, I think a timeout right there. You settle them down. You make sure that the right people, in that case, maybe Chris Douglas Robertson in isolation. Free throw shooting now becomes big. We talked about free throw shooting. What a tough basket right here by Tyler Smith. I mean, you can't fault the defense of Memphis. They were right up in the face. I mean, this is an earned jumper. I mean, he challenged them on that shot. Antonio Anderson's not a bad guy to take the ball to the basket. Just came up empty.
And a timeout taken, full timeout. Taken by Tennessee. J.P. Prince, who is not a good free throw shooter, but who has been extraordinary here in the second half. A Memphis kid who grew up a Tigers fan.
It's a long time ago.
A look at Prince in the second half, a block, and then a number of big buckets for the Volunteers.
Why don't we go a little overtime? Why don't we go a little overtime?
Where do we have to go?
We don't have to go anywhere. Nobody wants a lead. Let's play a little overtime. I'll tell you one thing, this will be a classic, no question.
For two, trying to beat number one. A 1-point lead for the Vols. Prince to the line, a 47% free throw shooter on the season, shooting 1-1. And Joey Dorsey is trying to mess with him. Joey Dorsey went right in Prince's space on the line, and Prince just walked away.
Joey Dorsey should just play basketball.
Yes, he should.
Joey Dorsey should concentrate on being the best player he can be. Remember last year's comments about Odin? He comes up strong. He says, talk to me again.
Prince uses all of the rim, knocks it down. Even if he makes this one, it's still a one-possession game. Memphis.
I mean, is she a little nervous right now?
Two huge free throws.
Wow.
Need a three to tie.
Yeah, you know, don't let him shoot the three. I wouldn't let him shoot the three when you're down this late.
The intentional miss, the loose ball rebound to Tennessee.
Got a foul right away.
The foul charge to Memphis, number 14, Chris Douglas.
That'll be a nice journey, 380 miles from here back to Knoxville. Well, I'll tell you one thing, you want to go to Vanderbilt with a W rather than now. I can guarantee you that. You know, you talk about the SEC. Vanderbilt's been a very good basketball team. I love their kid Foster. He's outstanding.
This is the guy Bruce Pearl wants on the line, the senior and his best shooter.
He's one of the premier free throw shooters in the SEC. And he's not had a good night at all, but he can help his club big time, and I see right here. How smooth. How smooth. He made a lot of people realize they made a mistake coming out of high school. Evaluators didn't feel he was the big-time prospect. Went to Tennessee and has had one of the greatest careers that anyone can have.
One more
college level. It's over, my friends, unless you can figure a way to get a 4-point play. Don't want to foul the shooter here.
Tennessee beats number one Memphis.
Offensive rebound and played a big part.
They gutted it out with some injuries. Chris